The movie plunges us into a futuristic jail, the setting for a popular show called Mafia. As the show begins, the game master lays down the rules for the 11 players and the eager audience. 9 are regular civilians and 2 are Mafia gangsters with identities concealed. The civilians must identify and eliminate the Mafia, while the Mafia must blend in and survive until the end. Each day, players vote to boot someone, and the chosen individual faces death in the way they fear most. The game master's drones collect the condemned player nightly, leading them to their demise. The last one standing wins a cool $1 billion. If it comes down to 1 civilian and 1 Mafia member in the final round, the Mafia wins. Next, we see a high-tech room where the players are relaxing. Drones appear, giving everyone a special wrist tattoo revealing their role, civilian or Mafia. The game master then introduces the players. First is Luca, an 85-year-old billionaire who looks much younger due to advanced medicine. A hardcore gambler, he's in the game betting his own life. His grandkids await his death at home, unaware that Luca's will states they get nothing if he dies in the game. Then there's Eli, a 38-year-old engineer with only 3 months left due to cancer. He joined to leave his family a fortune, ignoring his wife's pleas to spend his last days with them. We also meet Butcher and Evan, 2 convicts. The game show has a deal with the government. Convicts can join, and if they win they get freedom instead of money, with the government claiming the cash. The game master finishes introductions and tells players to reveal themselves, but everyone claims to be a civilian. They get 10 minutes to decide who to eliminate. Outside, friends and family are glued to their screens, hearts pounding. Constantine abstains from voting this round. Mary nominates Killian and Peter supports her. Butcher realizes he's seen Mary and Peter on TV. Mary is a famous 24-year-old ballerina, and Peter is her biggest fan. Mary's career ended after a severe accident in a downpour, leaving her legs damaged beyond repair. Since then, rain and lightning are her greatest fears. She needs a fortune for advanced prosthetic legs to dance again, which is why she's in the game. Peter, madly in love, has spent years selling everything to give Mary money and is willing to die for her. But Mary, crying, reveals Peter has been stalking her for years, and she's not interested. The other players, seeing this, assume she has a supporter and can eliminate anyone she wants, so they all vote her out first. Peter suddenly shouts that he's Mafia, but time's up, and Mary is the first to get the axe. Her wrist tattoo reveals she was a civilian after all. Her chair rises toward a large black sphere on the ceiling. Peter tries to save her but is strapped into his chair. As Mary enters the sphere, she passes out and faces her biggest fear, trapped in a dark forest at night. Rain pours and lightning strikes, forcing her to run toward a cliff. To escape, Mary jumps off, but lightning strikes her midair, killing her painfully. Her body instantly turns to ash and disappears into the sphere. The game master announces the first night is over, and drones fly over the players, ready to find the next victim. This time, everyone chooses Butcher, who curses them all out. His chair flies into the black sphere. We then see his mental health test from before the game. The shrink asks questions, but Butcher is terse. He claims he's not scared of anything, but later says he doesn't want to die like an idiot among idiots. Butcher's final moments begin in the sphere, where he's in a scary death pit. 2 huge wrestlers appear and the crowd roars for a beatdown. The wrestlers brutally beat Butcher, who is no match for them, throwing him around like a rag doll. Suddenly, Butcher grabs dirt, throws it in their eyes and attacks them with a bottle. He hits one wrestler hard, taking him down, but the other shoves him. Butcher persists, using anything he can find to attack, breaking bones and killing the wrestler. But the wrestler keeps coming back to life. After killing him multiple times, the wrestler finally stays dead. Back in the real jail, his buddies cheer him on. Butcher thinks he's finally free, but as he steps back, he slips and iron rods on the ground impale his head, killing him instantly. Meanwhile, Peter is still enraged about Mary's death, saying Butcher deserved it. A while later, the game master announces the next vote, but this time they only have 8 minutes. Suddenly, Constantine declares he knows who the Mafia is. He's had visions since childhood, knowing when he'd fail tests or when girls would cheat on him. People started calling him the Black Messenger, and as an adult he appeared on paranormal shows, even advising the government in wars. His biggest fear is dying old. Constantine claims Peter is Mafia. Peter asks if Constantine knows everything, why did he let Mary die even though she was a civilian? Constantine says he wants all the money for himself and doesn't want to split it with any civilians. Peter now believes Constantine is the Mafia and votes for him. Eli and Laura also vote for Constantine, but the other players vote for Peter. It turns out Peter was a civilian too, meaning Constantine was lying. We see Peter's mental health test, where he said his only fear was losing Mary. But when the shrink makes him think deeper, Peter remembers he's been scared of water since he was a kid. As Peter's chair enters the black sphere, he faces his biggest fear. He sees himself in a boat in the middle of the ocean, rowing toward an island. Suddenly his boat gets a hole. When he tries to plug it, he cuts his hand. His blood spills and sharks, drawn by the scent, appear. Peter panics and rows faster, but his boat slowly fills with water. He attacks a shark with his oar, killing it. The other sharks start eating the dead one, and Peter seizes his chance, jumping into the water and swimming toward the island, but then he sees the island has disappeared. Soon the sharks catch up and devour him. As Peter dies, he thinks he sees Mary's spirit coming for him, and he smiles as he takes his last breath. Back in the game, before nightfall, the players get another chance to choose someone to die, but this time they only have 6 minutes. We meet Walter, a 45-year-old military officer who fought in many wars. After witnessing so much horror, he's in deep shock and joined the game to let fate decide if he should live or die. Walter made a huge mistake during a war, causing many soldiers to die. Walter saw Evan's case on TV and accuses him of being a child killer. We then get Evan's backstory. He was a regular student who went out drinking, drove too fast, and got into a crazy accident where 2 friends died. Evan and the driver barely survived, but the other guy's parents blamed Evan to save their son, sending Evan to jail. Now his biggest fear is dying in prison. Evan tells everyone he's innocent and was framed. He tells Laura he's seen her somewhere before, but she denies knowing him. Laura then accuses Walter of being Mafia, and Walter throws the accusation back at her. They argue, but in the end, Walter votes for Laura and Laura votes for Walter. Luca, Evan, and Eli also vote for Walter, and he gets angry and starts yelling. Finally, Constantine also votes for Walter, sealing his fate. It's revealed that Walter was also a civilian, meaning both Mafia members are still in the game. As Walter's chair goes into the black sphere, he's back at the place where he made the biggest mistake of his life. He tries to warn his men about an enemy attack, but it's too late. The enemy quickly surrounds his team, and Walter's soldiers start dropping like flies. Walter's vision worsens when the walls in front of him disappear, and more enemies appear, brutally killing his men one by one. Finally, Walter steps out and starts shooting frantically, but seeing his men die and the walls vanish makes him realize his time is up. The enemies riddle Walter with bullets, killing him. Later, another night falls in the game and it's time for the next victim. The drones choose Laura and we hear her story. Laura had a home, a good job, and a happy family, but she got hooked on drugs and her life fell apart. She wouldn't let her husband help her, and soon her son died and her husband left. Now she's alone. She says her biggest fear is heights. Laura reveals she hadn't left her house for 8 years, but one night she saw a gruesome accident by the road. It turns out Laura was the one who saved Evan and his buddy, and the other guy's parents forced Laura to lie in court. Evan's mind is blown, but he forgives her because the truth is out. He's innocent. Finally, the game announces that Laura was a civilian too. As her chair goes toward the black sphere, Laura tells Evan she'll be rooting for him to win. In the sphere, Laura sees herself on a plane flying into a scary black cloud. The dark cloud attacks the plane, causing major damage. Parts of the plane break off, and the ceiling starts collapsing. A flight attendant comes to fasten her seatbelt, but then darkness swallows her too. Slowly, all parts of the plane break apart, and Laura falls to her death. Then the players get 4 minutes to choose the next person. Constantine immediately nominates Evan, sparking an argument. During this, Eli realizes that Kieran and Kate might know each other. Kieran claims Constantine is Mafia, but Evan nominates Eli. Everyone is at each other's throats. Constantine, Eli, and Luca nominate Evan, while Kate and Kieran nominate Constantine, and Evan votes for Eli. According to the rules, the chosen player needs the most votes, so they announce another vote. This time, Luca changes his vote to Constantine, and the other 4 vote the same way. At the same time, Constantine shocks everyone by voting for himself, the first time anyone's ever done that on the show. Finally, it's revealed that Constantine was the Mafia. When he reaches the black sphere, he sees himself going down a staircase. A man bumps into him and calls him Grandpa. Hearing that word infuriates Constantine, but then he starts coughing violently and mirrors appear, showing him aging rapidly. It gets harder and harder for him to go down the stairs. But as he reaches the end, Constantine suddenly starts laughing. He says he cheated because he's not scared of dying old at all. He thinks it's the most beautiful way to go. Another night falls and they choose Evan, but then it turns out he was a civilian too. Kate is in tears watching him go, but Evan says he's not sad about dying because it's been proven he's innocent. Before leaving, he tells his mom he loves her and apologizes for not being a good son. In the end, he sees himself in a jail in the Black Sphere, where guards are taking him to be executed. Evan imagines he's on a beach with his mom, but suddenly the guards shoot him dead. Now only 4 people are left in the game and one of them is Mafia. They only have 2 minutes to vote and quickly start arguing. Eli says Kieran and Kate are boyfriend and girlfriend, and then we see Kieran's story. Kieran is a young man who joined the game on a dare from his friend. The day before the game starts, he meets Kate, and for some reason, Kate feels so comfortable around him that she tells him all her secrets. She says she's terrified of heights, deserts, and dreams. Then she reveals she grew up in an orphanage, so she feels like there's no one in the world to protect her. It turns out Kate and Kieran didn't even know they'd meet again in the game. The players keep arguing for a long time and finally time runs out. The computer chooses the next player and it's Kate. As Kate is being pulled into the Black Sphere, Kieran holds onto her and they enter the Black Sphere together. In the sphere, they are standing on a glass floor and a terrifying storm rages around them. If they take a step, the glass breaks. Suddenly, Kieran runs toward Kate and they start running together with the glass floor rapidly breaking behind them. The ground beneath them breaks and they fall straight into a black desert. They see a triangle of light on a cliff and decide to head toward it. As they move forward, the cliffs behind them turn into giant snakes. The snakes chase them and they run super fast, but then a monster appears. It's actually the result of Kieran's fear, as he's now most scared of losing Kate. Kieran tells Kate to hide and he starts throwing rocks at the monster. When the monster steps in front of the light triangle, its body starts burning from the light. Kieran notices another triangle hanging around the monster's neck. He quickly runs up, climbs onto the monster's leg and steals the triangle from its neck. He then uses the triangle to redirect the light toward the monster, burning it to ashes. After that, they see a stone with faces carved into it, and one of its eyes has a triangle in it. They put the monster's triangle in the other eye, and suddenly the stone starts shaking, and a path opens up in front of them, leading straight to a house. When they reach the house, Kate realizes it's the same orphanage where she grew up. She sees her mom leaving her with a woman. Then it's revealed that Kate's biggest fear was finding out why her parents abandoned her. But Kieran reminds her that none of that is her fault. Then everything around them starts breaking and finally they're standing in front of the game master. This means there's one civilian and one mafia left in the game. Before announcing the winner, there's an ad break on the show. The game master reveals that Constantine was working for him and they were using Kieran and Kate to find a way to end the game. The game master says they're still trapped in that dream, but the audience is tired of seeing players die, so he decided to show them Kieran and Kate's love story. Finally, the game master thanks them for participating and sends them out of the show. A while later, Eli returns home and tells his family that he was the last mafia standing, meaning he won the game. After that, he lived for 10 months instead of 3. Meanwhile, Luca also came out of the game alive, but he didn't get any money, so he kicked all his grandkids out of his will and donated all his wealth to Kate's orphanage. On the other hand, Evan's mom received flowers every day for her son, which meant that the whole country was mourning his death. And that's where the movie ends. Please like and subscribe to support the channel and share your thoughts in the comments section. Thank you for watching and see you on the next video for more fun recaps.